Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Focus on Gaming podcast, episode number 49. Just me and Duncan this week.
Hello.
Hello, Duncan. No Tom tonight, but I think he's earned a week off. Few in a row, so I can't complain because I'm
Give him a rest tonight.
I know. Yeah. So anyway, how's it all been?
All good. All good. What is it? We had Sonic special last week, and we found out it's Sonic's birthday this week.
Yeah. I know. We should have done it this week. Really.
Yeah, we should have done it this week. Well, technically, it was this week's episode because this isn't released until tomorrow, and tomorrow is after his birthday.
There you go. We are organised. Yeah. How 33? I think.
33.
1991.
He's in your neck of the woods.
Yeah. A couple years below me at school, Sonic.
You would have picked on him.
Yeah, if I could catch him. Yeah.
Yeah. You're just a little blue hedgehog. Yeah. But I have been playing. What have we been playing recently? I've been playing. There's a couple of Game Pass games that come out. Callisto Protocol's come out on Game Pass, which I've started playing that on a big screen because I've got that on Steam Deck. But so yeah, it's on Game Pass and it's nice and brutal.
Yeah, I play. I played it on the PS5 because I had it on PlayStation Plus. So yeah,
is it any good? I mean, it's all right so far. There's a bit of mystery about what's going on.
Yeah, so I don't know how far you are with it, but you're trying to escape the prison, aren't you? Essentially,
I am in the prison. Yeah, I'm in a prison. I've not really got very far at all. Maybe. Yeah. On PC, I'd played it for about an hour and a half. I think I've only played it for about 40 minutes on the Xbox so far. So I'm really not very far into it at all. But yeah, is the story compelling?
It's good. It's a jump. I mean, I enjoyed it, but it got
lots of jump scares.
It can be quite jumpy some points. You go rooms where the lights flicker in and stuff, and you know you're approaching something. And
you just know I'm gonna turn it off after a while, don't you?
I played it, and then I went and walked my dog at night, which was a sort of a mistake that I made, but yeah,
creepy little noises.
I don't know if you got to the point yet where you can upgrade your guns and weapons and things like that. So
I've reached out on the PC, but not on Xbox yet. So I think I've just got to the point where I could upgrade one thing on PC.
And I don't know if you've died, but obviously the death scenes are quite.
I have got it on the what do they call it? The minimum security level. Because I just thought,
you don't want to make it. Yeah, you don't want to make it more.
But I do want to experience the gory deaths. So
so if you die, and I think it was the same on Prey. Like Prey not the predecessor, but they made. Oh my! What was it? What did they make before Calypso Protocol? I think.
Dead Space.
Dead Space. Sorry, yeah. So Dead Space was the same, wasn't it? Where you had the death scenes and they were really gory.
Yeah, I mean the Callisto Protocol. I mean, it sold a lot of it on the gory deaths. Yeah, in fact, there was DLC that you could. I think there was a deluxe upgrade or something. You could buy more deaths as well, which I think they were a bit slated for because people were like, "Why on earth would I want to buy more deaths?" But people probably did.
Yeah, I guess you don't want to die, but at least it gives.
But I'm also, in terms of horror, I don't know why I put myself through it, but there's a game called Still Wakes the Deep, which is more of a narrative game, quite a short game apparently. I haven't completed it yet, but I have got to the point where everything goes to crap, and I haven't actually seen any of. Yeah, basically, it's set on a Scottish oil rig, and I think they drill through to something, and something comes up through the drill, and starts possessing the people on the rig, or something like that. So
it's like a program. I'm sure there
There was a program called The Rig, wasn't there?
Yeah, where it was based on a rig, and then people started getting possessed. So I don't know if the game came from that, or the program came from the game. I don't know, but all they are totally separate entities, and they just seem to be very similar. I don't know.
Indeed. I mean that Rig.
Rather than...
Yeah, well, that Rig TV program, I watched it, but do you know what? I just couldn't be bothered to get to the end.
I've never. I just saw the trailer, but when you were like,
I watched about 3 episodes of it. There was only, I think, 6. And in the end, I was just like, do you know what? I can't be bothered to watch this. So I think I just looked up what happened at the end. And I was quite glad that I didn't. I think it was rather meh, the ending was.
Was it a Scottish rig, like the game?
It was based in Scotland, yes. And it was what's his name? From Line of Duty. The one who's actually Scottish. But in Line of Duty was not. Anyway, the main man in Line of Duty, he was very good, but I can't remember his name. But yeah, so but no, this is quite good at the moment. I think it's an Unreal 5 game because it's if you put it in quality mode, it looks absolutely gorgeous, but it runs like dog crap on the Series X in quality mode. It's very low frame rate. No, I just didn't like it, so I just went to performance mode, and it still looks good in performance mode, just nowhere near as good. And yeah, it's more of a narrative thing. You know, you walk from one place to another, and you get a few jump scares. So far, I haven't completed it yet, even though apparently it's very short. And yeah, it's creepy. You're walking through areas where it's there's this thing scuttling in the darkness and people making noises and calling out your name and kind of noises. So yeah, I don't know why I do it because I'm sitting there almost crapping myself every 5 seconds, but. But yeah, it's not so bad. It's a sort of 7 out of 10 so far kind of thing. You know, it's not going to win any awards for Game of the Year, but
enjoyable.
It's enjoyable. So yeah, and then I've been mostly playing this this game called Island Farmer that was £1.49 off the Xbox store. And I got it because there is no challenge to it. It's just literally some squares that make up an island, and you have to swap them around till they match the picture you see. And once they're in the right place, they're locked. You can swap them as many times. There's no challenge. There's no time limit. Nothing. It's just a relaxation. And my 6-year-old loves it as well because he can't get it wrong. And yeah, it's £1.49. It was off the.
Not every game needs to be hard, does it?
No, I've lost all desire for challenge nowadays. Yeah. Which, funnily enough, one thing I think we hadn't talked about before is the Shadow of the Erdtree is out for Elden Ring.
Oh, the DLC.
Yeah, the DLC.
Yeah. If you like a challenge, then yeah, get on that.
Apparently, I've anecdotally, people are telling me that the challenge has been raised.
Yeah, I mean, Elden Ring is difficult, but compared to the other Dark Souls game, it's probably the easiest Dark Souls.
Well, apparently, this DLC has raised the difficulty of Elden Ring.
So From Software must have thought, no, it's not hard enough.
Indeed.
People aren't dying constantly, so we're just going to have to increase the difficulty.
They probably get stats sent through to them, is it? And it's like the average death per boss is below what we would like. We want them to die at least 70 times.
Well, I mean, the bosses were just as hard as any. It was just the general play was easy. I felt like you could kill the non-boss people quite easily by sneaking up to them, and it was more forgiving in terms of. You could replenish your life and stuff like that. And so, are you hoping to get Shadow of the Erdtree? Well, I don't have Elden Ring.
Of course, yes. No,
I had it on PC when I
yes,
had it.
Of course.
And I don't have a PC anymore. Did try and get because I thought I had it on Steam, but I must have just got it on CD keys or whatever, because I tried to get Steam on my TV to see if I could but I got it onto it and there was nothing on there. So I was like, I must have got it just through CD keys or whatever, but I can't remember.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it should be on your Steam account. Well, you try GeForce Now or something. It might be that they haven't authorized it. Because
to be fair, it wasn't really. I don't know what was going on, because every time I tried to do anything, it wasn't really working properly. So maybe I'll have to look into it a bit more. But yeah, I couldn't find it anyway when I was.
Oh, that's a shame. Yeah,
no, you could probably pick it up quite cheap, I imagine.
I mean, that is a way that you could play it through GeForce Now. I can imagine any kind of lag would make it even harder to play, though.
Yeah, you don't want to make that game any more difficult than it needs to be.
No. But reviews have been, good for it. So if any listeners are more knowledgeable about whether they're enjoying it, let us know.
Yeah.
I will not be. If I'm playing a game that means that has no challenge whatsoever and enjoying it, I don't think I'm going to be. I don't think I'm going to be jumping into Elden Ring. I did try Elden Ring, and I just walked out of the tutorial area and there's some guy on a horse. I'm just like, how do I get past him? And eventually I worked out that you could just walk past him. But then,
he's right at the beginning, isn't he?
Yes, I'm like, is he classed as a difficult one? Is he an easy one? I don't know.
He's tough, that one.
I even got an edited my save, or got a trainer or something, and put my level right up. I put my all the stats and whatnot up, and I still got absolutely caned at every single place that I tried to get to. So I'm like, this ain't for me. I don't.
It's for you've got to be like patient, don't you, and not mind dying over and over again, and just keep trying.
I'm not patient nowadays. No, not with children. Not with children on the scene. They take all the patience. So when I have gaming, I just want calm.
You want things. You've got a bar for your patient, and your children take all of it. You don't have any more left for gaming.
So what have you been playing?
Well, the new game I've played, I tried out Grounded.
Oh yes, cool.
Wasn't what I expected, not in a bad way, but for some reason I thought it was going to be like a platformer, and it's like a survival game, isn't it? Where you collecting materials, creating weapons and creating sort of armor and things like that, and
there's various systems
guiding around, and you got your quests, what you go. Which I don't mind those type of games, but I got to sort of be in the mood to play those type of games, like Fallout, for example. I have to be in the mood to play like Fallout and go out and get me. Because I thought it was going to be a platformer and I was playing it, I was like, this is not platform. And I just walked in like straight away right at the start, walked into like a spider and it killed me straight away. And I was like,
they are tough.
I would just hit it and it would just die, because I thought it was going to be like, your typical platformer where like maybe the bosses would be a bit tricky, but the actual like standard enemies, you could just jump on their heads or something like that. So I played it for about a couple of hours and I haven't played it since, just because I'm going to have to get myself, if I do want to.
It's much better with friends. I'll tell you that. It is much better in a group. You can have some good fun with it. But yeah, it's not one that's going to be, in 10 years' time. Yeah.
And I found like it didn't really, like, I don't want games to hold my hand, but there was like certain point, there was one bit where I needed to get rope, and without the rope I couldn't do anything, because I needed to create a axe to chop down And I just could not find this. I was like going everywhere, and I was like bumping into spiders and getting killed and everything. And red ant killed me, and I was like, bloody hell, I got killed by an ant. So, and
I mean, they are equivalent to it being an 8-foot ant kind of thing.
Yeah, you are pretty small, I suppose. But and then I randomly was like near sort of where the base camp thing is, and I just clicked on it, and there was like a way you could just create it by, and I was like, okay, that made it a bit easier, but they didn't tell me I could do that, so I was like, I've been walking around for ages.
I've played it for a while, and I remember that I didn't find the controls very intuitive.
Yeah, I did
how to make things and the process very intuitive.
Yeah, because I constantly was clicking pause to check what materials I needed, because that was like some of the quests was like create an armor or whatever, or create an axe or whatever, or workbench and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, what do I need? And I'll be like walking around, like, do I need that? And then if you are carrying too much stuff, then you just can't like walk. But then I was thinking, well, I feel like I need to collect everything because everything's like is required. And then there was one bit where I drank some dirty water, and it was like, you must eat in 1 minute or you're going to die. And I was like, yeah, I didn't have any food, so I was like rushing around. I found a mushroom, which I ate.
You were tripping balls,
right? If you don't eat or drink for a certain amount of time, it just pops up saying you must eat or you must drink. And then, at one point it was like, you must drink, because I obviously hadn't drank for ages. And I couldn't find any fresh water, so I drank a dirty puddle, and it's like, you must eat. So I was like, bloody hell, this is like stressful.
Oh yeah, I'm not a fan of hunger in games.
Yeah,
even in Minecraft, it's like, oh really? Do I have to eat?
It feels like a chore rather than like.
Yeah, most of the time with those, I will just find some storage. Like Minecraft, I will just find some storage and then kill myself. Hey presto, don't need to die.
Like Fallout Never One is where you were just constantly like Fallout 76 was particularly, but I just never had food, and I was like playing it with my friends. I was like, can you just give me dog food, because I just like because it's like the main thing that was killing me. I wasn't actually being killed by anything in the game. It was just because I was dying because I wanted to eat it.
When dog meat from, was it Fallout 3 or 4? Fallout 4, wasn't it? Dog meat.
Yeah, dog meat was. I can't remember what dog meat was in.
He just sits there wistfully looking at you like, you're eating my food.
The only thing that doesn't kill you, because you start eating stuff and then you get radioactive, and I was like, so yeah, it wasn't as I expected. I didn't hate it, but I probably won't be like rushing back to play it anytime soon.
Yeah, I think that's its problem. It looked very nice. Everyone was sort of, oh yeah, that looks okay. It looks like it'd be quite good. And it was early access, and people were like, okay, yeah, this could be good. And then I think there are plenty of people that play it, but it's not massively popular.
Because I thought it was going to be more like It Takes Two. That was and I really liked It Takes Two, because that was more of a platformer, and you were sort of solving sort of puzzles and challenges and stuff like that. I think it probably would have worked better, like personally, not to. I'm not.
Yeah, I mean, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I think that had a few games in it in the 1980s. I think probably on the NES and Master System. But yeah, no, it's a 6 or it's a 7 out of 10. Again, it's not one that in 10 years' time anyone's going to care about. And if there are servers, then they'll probably be turned off after a few years or whatever. Yeah, I'm with you. I've played it for a couple of hours when it was in early access, and then I played it for a couple of hours since. And yeah, it hasn't grabbed me. Apparently, the story's quite pleasant. Yeah, you find, because there's some scientist or something, isn't there, that was also shrunk, and that's why you're down there or something like that. I haven't found out the entire story myself. We'd be rubbish reviewers. We'd be like, I played the game for 5 minutes. And I was like, yeah,
can't be bothered. I mean,
7 out of 10.
If it took away the the stuff where you don't have to collect materials and build stuff and have to eat and drink, then I wouldn't mind just running around like doing little, solving why the laser wasn't working properly, getting to the house and, going through the story. But it just adds on, like, it feels like it's going to be like an added chore because you'll be doing something and you'll be like, oh God, my guy's hungry again. So I better go and
things like Power World and Ark, what was it called? Ascended now, or whatever it's called. Anyway, Ark and Power World. That's why I like those, because those, you've literally got about 40 different sliders that you could change. You can change how fast you level up, how fast you get resources, and all that kind of thing, how quick your hunger goes. So you can turn hunger off. And all that. So you can have a challenge if you want, or you can have a slight challenge, or you can have no challenge whatsoever. I mean, Power World, I was just like, slide everything fully on. So it was nice and easy, and I had a whale of a time.
Yeah, I think more games should because some people like the challenge, some people don't do that. So they should give people. I know it probably creates more work for them, but it does give people the.
And if you want achievements as well, it's quite good nowadays because a lot of these accessibility options make the game a lot easier. And so that they're not keeping the ability of disabled people or people with less ability in one area, so they can still get achievements. A lot of games aren't
penalising
you for using them now, whereas it used to be there's loads of difficulty settings, but if you change any of them, you're not getting any achievements, or you won't get this achievement or that achievement kind of thing. And nowadays there's less doing that, unless the game is very specifically to be hard, like
From Software. I mean, they don't have any, you can't make it any like less, but then obviously that's their main sort of selling point of their game, is that it's really challenging. And
if you don't have the ability to play the From Software game at its default level, then they're not making, it's not for you. Exactly. And I am one of those people, but not because of any disability, just because of my poor ability. So if they made Grounded a bit like that, I haven't actually checked recently whether they've got settings like that. They? Do you know?
I didn't see any. There was you could set the difficulty. Maybe I should have set it as easy as possible, but
there might be a custom level or something like that.
Basically, potentially. Maybe I'll have a look into it and see if you can take certain things off. But
I mean, it's available on Game Pass.
It is,
I want to play it. So, anything else you've been playing?
No, not anything I haven't spoken about before. So,
Rocket, have you got stuck into Rocket League again?
Been playing.
Any more 3 a.m. games?
No. I haven't done that as of yet. So I say as of yet, I have done that, but not recently. So I've been sort of reluctant to play it in the evening, because I know if I do, then it's probably going to be a late night. So if I do play it, usually in the day, on my lunch hour, if I'm working from home, which is also quite dangerous because you don't want to potentially
should be working.
So I'm more disciplined because I know I can't really not go back to my work. So it puts a time restriction.
It just calls you though, doesn't it?
I'm like, maybe I could just do the Homer Simpson trick where he had that little bird tapping the keyboard, so he looked like he was be like, I'm there.
I think it was in the news recently. There was a company who had just sacked an absolute ton of people for using mouse jigglers to make it look like they were working. I can't remember, it was some big company. It might have been a bank. I think it was a bank. But anyway, there was a load of people who worked from home, and they've sacked a load of them because they worked out that they were using jigglers. But anyway, so Nintendo Direct, that actually happened.
Yeah, it is. So we
And
the
you
last
are
couple of
you are a
episodes-
Switch owner, so
I am. So because the last couple of episodes we spoke about Xbox, didn't we, in Summerfest, and obviously it hasn't had as much publicity, Nintendo Direct, but there was still a few things
no, I
on.
think that they'd already announced a few months ago that the Switch 2 was not going to be revealed at this because it was rumored, and they went no.
They gave an update that it would be likely 2025, wasn't it? Was the sort of the update I believe they gave.
I think the Switch 2, yeah, it was originally meant to be Christmas sort of holiday time, but now it's meant to be beginning of 2025. But there's plenty of other places that they can reveal it. I think the Tokyo Game Show is in the next couple of months, but they could just go Switch 2 coming in January or something like that. Anyway, so the Nintendo Direct didn't have Switch 2, but it did have a Zelda game.
I know, a Zelda where you're Princess Zelda, rather than Link, which is
called The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom.
Yes, which looking at it, it's like a.
It looks like the remake of Link to the Past, doesn't it? Kind of thing. It's got that same sort of overhead look. Yeah, like
sort
the
cartoony sort of graphic.
Isometric, but 3D.
Yeah, I like it. I think it.
I think I'd say to you off air that they managed to make things look so pretty, even with the limited hardware.
Yeah, they know what they can and can't do. What they can do, they do really well, don't they? So, no, I'll definitely play it. I don't know.
This is
day one, but I'll definitely be getting it because
in 4 months' time, 3 months' time. Sorry.
I know. Yeah,
it's
a good thing about it. I mean, one of my criticism of the Xbox. I know it wasn't with every game, but a lot of the games they were showing, but didn't have any release dates. Whereas this one, September the 26th,
3 months. I haven't heard anything about it either.
I know. We kept it a secret, but I guess because their games aren't massive like the Xbox games, they can sort of get them out quite quickly without like limited bugs and stuff like that.
And you've got to use the power of the tri-rod. It just sounds dirty, that doesn't it? Have you seen my tri-rod? Can you see what I can do with it? Hey. Anyway, so you can make echoes of things in the environment, and so then you could use those things to get to new places and do different things in the world. So it looks like very puzzly, doesn't it?
Yeah, which is Zelda, I think, out of all, not out of all, but one of the best games for puzzles is Zelda. Like some of the best puzzles I've done have been from Zelda games.
Definitely a fantastic. They're all very good at. No, you can't go here. You're like, why can't I get there? It's like, oh, how am I meant to get there? And then you go somewhere else and you go, oh, I've got this thing.
Yeah,
I can get to that place
in gadget or whatever, and then you're like, okay, now I know, because you'll be walking around, there'll be like a treasure chest which is like on a cliff edge, and you're like, well, how am I ever going to get up there? And then about 3 hours further on in the game, you get a certain equipment or whatever, and then you're like, okay, I can go back.
Oh, the poster, like the picture, does have Link in the
I think he gets like taken, doesn't he, or whatever? So I think Zelda has to save.
So the Legend of Zelda is finally about Zelda.
Yes, people that confusion now because everyone who doesn't, well, a lot of people who haven't played the Zelda game would always assume that Link is Zelda. I know it's a running joke, so I think most people know that Link isn't Zelda, but there was there's
a T-shirt you can get, and it's got a picture of sort of sexy Link. And it says, "What if Zelda was a girl?" It's obviously meant as a joke.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've always wanted to get that just to infuriate Nintendo fans because even some people some people who even know that it's a joke, it's still they're like, I can't bear to see it.
Yeah, it's very. I think the fan base, some of them are quite protective over Zelda, aren't they? So it's got quite a passionate.
So what else was there?
Metroid Prime 4 got a gameplay release.
Now this I've only seen screenshots right now, so I haven't actually seen it in motion. Is it looking good?
Yeah, I mean, there hasn't been a Metroid Prime game out for the last one was the Wii, wasn't it? Metroid Prime.
I think so. I think it was, and it's been remastered. I think.
Yeah, the two GameCube ones were one of my, couple of my favorite games all time. I mean, I really like the Wii one as well. This one was meant to come out years ago, but they scrapped it and restarted the whole game because the Nintendo CEO came out. He did like a little video and said, look, it wasn't standards that they set up Nintendo.
Okay. Yeah.
Instead of just he just said we're going to redo it, which obviously, but with that release date, it does make me think: will it come out on Switch, or will it come out on Switch 2, or will it be like Breath of the Wild, where they brought it out on Wii U and Switch at the same time? Because it would indicate it's going to be quite. If the Switch 2 is going to be 2025,
I mean the trailer for it, graphically looks absolutely. I've just got it on silent right now. It graphically looks absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So I wouldn't be surprised. If this is a dual release, sort of a launch Switch 2.
I can't hear you, Duncan.
Oh, hang on. There you go. Can you hear me now? Oh, hello.
You've gone silent on me. Hopefully not on the actual
silent
podcast because it's
no. Apparently,
can you hear me?
I can hear you, Martin. Oh well, hang on. Let me just see if I can sort this out. But I'll just. And we're unpaused because we saw.
Yeah, I think it was my side, Duncan. No, I don't. You don't have to take the blame. I think I messed with the sound because I was watching the Metroid Prime as well, and I was messing.
Okay.
I think I was trying to just mute the video. I think I muted everything.
Metroid Prime. I was saying the trailer looks so good. I think that it'll be Nintendo Switch and Nintendo Switch 2. I think possibly a dual release,
like Breath of the Wild. Maybe they'll try and time it that it comes out on the.
Indeed, and the only reason I think Breath of the Wild did take a while, did it, or did it come out on the Switch from day one?
I can't remember,
but I think they'll probably try and release it on both because that trailer. If you think about the Switch hardware doing that game with those level of graphics, I mean, think about things like Mortal Kombat 1 and how bad that looks. So when you try and make games look really pretty, it doesn't really work. And
they don't want to have a cyberpunk situation where people will be like, why did they bring it out on the previous generation?
Well, there was a game that I think you're probably very excited about because we haven't talked about it for a while, but one of your favorite games, Donkey Kong Country, isn't it? There's a remake HD.
Yeah, it's like a HD, but it says it's got all the original level on the Wii version, which I haven't played the Wii version. And to be fair, I didn't even know there was a Donkey Kong Country on the Wii, but obviously there is. Got all the added levels that was on the 3DS again. So I didn't know about that either. So now I do know. We'll see. I'll probably be getting that, and I'll be playing these levels that I've never played before. But
yeah, I mean, I completed Donkey Kong Country. I think on my Steam Deck actually. I want to say the end of last year, and fantastic game. Really made good. A lot easier with save states on emulators.
Yeah, I mean, I played it on my Wii U, but that allows you to do restore points, so you can click. And I was doing that quite a bit in the end because I was like, I'm not doing that again. So I'm going to I'm going to restore it here, and at least I know now if I die, I'll come back to this point rather than going back to the beginning of the level, the checkpoint or whatever. Obviously, on the Switch, you're not going to be able to do that. But see, and if you play it on ever,
you never know. Well,
you never know, but
I'm looking at Metacritic on Donkey Kong Country Returns is a 87% on the Wii, so it's good reviews. So yeah, that looks like it could be fun. And there's a usual fare. There's a Mario and Luigi game. There's a Super Mario Party game. Dragon Quest is getting some love. Dragon Quest 1, 2, and 3
remakes,
HD remakes. On that, I think they've added another sport to Nintendo Switch Sports, and there was various other not quite as exciting news. There was a few games added to the Switch Online, Nintendo Online, I think it was called.
Yeah.
But yes,
straight away, isn't it? But yeah, nothing groundbreaking. But
no, Super Mario
bread and butter,
Party
Zelda,
is good fun.
Prime.
And again, looks pretty. The Super Mario Party are great for a party. Get a few drinks and be silly or play with the kids.
Luigi have a game, Brotherhood or something.
Yeah, that one looks weird. It's got like a cell shaded look to it. Mario and Luigi Brothership.
Not Brotherhood then.
Ship. Yes, with a P. With a P for person. But yeah, it's got like a cell shaded. I think it's an RPG platformer kind of thing. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't look like it'll set the world on fire, but it will be a good Mario and Luigi game. Yeah, but again, weird cell shaded look. Not really a fan of that, to be honest. On that game, it looks a bit weird, but yeah. And I don't know the Switch, so I won't be playing any of these. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. And other than that, there was things that like Among Us announced and Luigi's Mansion 2 HD, things like that. Yeah. And Lego Horizon Adventures is coming to Switch for some reason, even though that's a Sony IP.
Yeah,
and it's coming to Switch and not Xbox, obviously, though. So, bit of a weird one, that. I have seen various reasons online why that's coming to Switch and not Xbox, but why it's coming to Switch. But yeah, we don't know the official reason, I don't think. But a bit weird. There's a thing for Stray. Is Stray coming to Switch? Hang on. Stray is in this list of things for Stray Mousy. Oh yeah, there you go. Stray is coming. Holiday.
That's the cat one, isn't it?
Holiday 2024. Yeah. It's although it looks very pretty. I mean, the graphics aren't. They're just very well done. They're not particularly taxing on the hardware. So yeah, I'd highly recommend it because I don't think it comes out as a full price game. It's sort of a 20 to £30 game. It's good fun. I'd highly recommend that when it comes out, or play it on PS5 or Xbox right now and PC. Anything? What are you most looking forward to out of all though? You got Donkey Kong, Mario.
Good question. Zelda, I think. And I really like Metroid Prime as well, but Donkey Kong and Zelda are more because they got dates.
If you could only buy one,
it'd be Metroid Prime if I could only buy one. The other two, one's a remake, and then the other one is just a Zelda spin-off. It's not an actual, proper new Zelda game.
Okay.
Metroid Prime 4 is
next proper big thing.
20 years in the making, or whatever. So
that's weird. Yeah. 20 years. Cool. Let's hope it's not as bad as what's his name? Duke Nukem Forever.
yeah, that was
pretty bad.
Big gap, and then nothing since.
Yeah, no, well, that pretty much killed him. I think they did try something else, but I can't remember what. But no, Duke Nukem is
To be fair, there were probably more bad Duke Nukem games than good Duke Nukem.
yeah, there wasn't. Yeah.
Duke Nukem Land of the Babes was,
and they were of a time as well, weren't they? They're not really modern games. They haven't lasted the test of time like Doom. But no,
Duke Nukem 64 wasn't too bad. That was the only probably one.
I mean, that was just because there was a couple of 3D ones. After if you get rid of the actual Doom clone ones, a couple of 3D ones that were But no. Right, so Euros are on. The Euro football. For those that don't know, the European Championships. The international is the European Championships of soccer, football. England so far have. We recorded this on Sunday, the 23rd. England have had one where they dragged a win out and one where they very much dragged out a draw.
If you're, it's been so painful to watch.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, we're in the driving seat for getting through, but it's not been impressive so far.
For me, Duncan, it's not just that. This isn't a football podcast, so I'm not going to. But it's not just about the result. I mean, it should just be about the result. But for me, the performance is worrying because when we play an actual good team, no disrespect to Denmark and Serbia, but when we play like France or Germany or Holland or Spain, we can't play like that because we'll be out.
No.
It needs to improve. But we did think, as a way of linking it to our podcast, we would do have a chat about
sports.
Not just football, all sports. We're inclusive in this podcast.
Oh yes,
and
yes, because
as well.
Sports are quite a broad term, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't think we're going to do it justice in the time we have, but we'll go through some our favourites.
Well, I mean, let's start with the obvious one though, because we are talking about the Euros, football games. I mean, I did actually. Oh, I did actually do a quiz for tonight. If you want to do it, obviously, I was hoping there'll be two of you here, but Tom will be able to do this at home. Would you like to have a little go? Some of them are a bit retro, but
go for it. You know, I'm always up for a quiz, even though I'm not.
So actually, so we're not going to start with football yet, but we'll start with American football. So we all know that Madden and the associated games, but who had a sports talk American football game on the Mega Drive, the Genesis? Ooh,
I feel like. It's going to be like an American footballer.
Well, yeah, it's an American football game.
I'm trying to think of any famous American footballers. What's that one? Was it Joe Santana or something like that? I can't remember.
Not Santana, but it is Joe. Joe, and it rhymes with Santana.
Montana or something.
That's it. Hey, Joe Montana.
I honestly did not know that. I just went for any famous American footballer.
Joe Montana's sports talk football.
90s.
Very good.
I'm really impressed with myself, actually.
I'm quite impressed with that. So, all right. Well, there you go. You got one. Number two. Who was on the cover of the very first FIFA game on the Genesis? Was it A, Peter Shilton?
Got options.
B, Gary Lineker, or C, David Platt?
I'm going to say because
those are all England players. For those who aren't au fait with English football history, one is a goalkeeper, one's a striker, one's a midfielder.
I know David Platt has been on a cover, so I'm going to say David Platt.
Ding, ding, ding! Correct. Well done, you. He was with. There was a Polish player. He was on the cover with, and I didn't put his name in it because I wasn't going to pronounce that. It was a Shevchevsky or something.
Okay.
So number three. This question was especially for you. In Rocket League, which sport has not had a mode in the game? A, ice hockey, B, tennis, or C, basketball?
Well, I reckon I can. This is the one I'm going to answer with confidence, and that be tennis, because there's
correct.
The basketball, and then the one I can't remember what the ice hockey one's called.
Drift? Is it drift? Something like that.
No, but you just go around with hitting a massive puck essentially rather than a ball.
That is correct. It is tennis. Yes, the other two have got modes. Okay, when was the first PGA Tour game with Tiger Woods released? Was it 96, 98, or 2000?
I'm going to go in the middle, 98.
Correct, yes, because although it was actually Tiger Woods 99, but it was released in 98. So, number 5. This is a retro one. Which sport game had a subtitle Brutal Deluxe? It was a game that I think originally it was either on the Genesis or the Amiga, one of those kind of thing. It was that era.
So I'm not going to get it. Cool.
It's a very famous game, but I think it was ported onto a few things. I can give you some hints about it.
I think it's going to be a boxing game.
It was made by the Bitmap brothers. It was a team game.
Ooh, team game. Okay, so it's not boxing.
No, it was brutal because you could kill people in it.
Wow, that's brutal.
So, table tennis then. Table tennis by Rockstar.
Brutal Deluxe.
Yep. Oh, I'm going to have to hurry up on this. Begins with S.
Sensible soccer.
That famous one where you can kill people. That is Speedball 2.
You panicked me when you said it begins with S.
Well, that begins with 2 S's. No, it's Speedball 2, which was a futuristic sort of a cross between handball, rugby kind of thing, but you would literally kill people as you would splatter them into like mush. It was a good game for the time. It was really good. So here's one, last one. What is the biggest selling individual sports game of all time? Now I'll tell you, it is not a series. It's not a series because the biggest series is FIFA, which has sold something like 340 million or something like that.
I think I know.
Ooh.
Because I think it's Wii Sports, I reckon. Oh, I might be wrong.
Because
it was with every Wii.
Indeed. Wii Sports, because 83 million copies of it came with 83 million.
I think I think it was because you said the individual bit, which made me think, okay, it's not going to be FIFA
the biggest franchise is FIFA by far. Because it's, as I said, I think it's nearly 350 million. It's on the way to 350 million copies, which is quite a lot. I mean, it has been going since 1996, though. I think was the first one, or 94 actually.
They've been going around a while.
You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 out of 6.
Yeah,
well done. 6
out of 6 because people would have thought you picked it. So,
you already got that one right. No, I mean that was a game that was released when you were about 3 or 4, so it's understandable.
Yeah.
So, are you a football game fan?
I am. I think if I remember, if I go back through my whole gaming life, one of the first games I played was Italian 90 because it was one of those games that came on the Sega Mega Drive, the 6-in-1 game, where you would little bird's eye view and you'd see your little players plopping around, and then you'd have to control your goalie, which made it quite difficult because that was.
It was a clone of sort of Kickoff, I think, which was the earlier version of it. But yeah, they were very hard to control. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was pretty young when I was playing it. I wasn't playing it in 1990 because I would have been an actual baby in 1990, but I was playing it probably a few years back or of 1994 maybe or something like that. But yeah, and then I played FIFA pretty much.
What about Sensible Soccer? Did you play Sensible Soccer?
I did. Is that the one where like people you'd have
the
like
little teeny tiny stick men?
Yeah, and they would like their team like would be packet of crisps or something, and like it was weird because obviously they didn't get licenses,
and you could
so
really swerve the ball like massively from almost the halfway line. Sometimes you could score a goal if you were lucky, but yeah, it was.
And then the old school FIFAs where there was one where the referee could give you yellow, and you could run away from the referee, and you'd have to chase. That was one of my favourite things about it. And there was the indoor football, like they had indoor on the older FIFAs, which they took away, and that was one of the most like
yes, because you didn't have throw-ins. It was only
against the wall.
It was like 5v5 or 3v3 or something. But yeah, yes, I remember that. That was great. But are we talking old school as in Mega Drive, or are we talking old school as in PlayStation 1 kind of 3D?
I think it was the Mega Drive. I think once it got to like PlayStation, they took that. I might be wrong. Someone might say no, it was on the PlayStation 1, but I can't remember it on.
I mean, I remember playing the isometric FIFA on the Mega Drive, and obviously for the time the graphics were, because there was animation and characters kind of thing.
Yeah, and you could celebrate, couldn't you? And you'd like smash that button. It was like yeah. Yeah, it was.
And they were just absolutely amazing, and the fact that they had the FIFA brand meant that you could play as your favourite players.
I know. Yeah.
And so yeah, it was brilliant. I mean, for me, the one that I have the fondest memories of, it probably wasn't the best one, was Road to World Cup '98 on the PlayStation. Mostly because you loaded it up and Blur Song 2 popped out. And it just had such a good soundtrack once you filtered out all the made for the game rubbish. But no, it had loads of good songs. And also, all you could do, you just kicked off, you went backwards a bit, and then you just ran at the centre circle, held shoot, and I think you held back or something, and that was it. Plopped it in every time. So you could go on the hardest level you wanted and complete it. But no, it was really good, and the fact that it was a full 3D engine, and
I did like the World Cup ones. They don't do them anymore, but yeah, because I remember the South Korea Japan one. I played that quite a lot. What I liked about the old FIFAs is that you could do the professional fouls, couldn't you?
Yes.
You like kick someone in the head, and
was it like two of the shoulder buttons or something?
Yeah, which
you could push them over or purposely kick them. Yeah.
Looking in hindsight, it's probably good they've taken it away, because it's one of those games that I get frustrated on, and if I'm like 1 or 2-0 down, I'm like, that's it. I'm just going to be like trying to kill you now. And,
try and get the game abandoned.
Yeah. Did you ever play This Is Football? That was another one.
Oh yeah.
Where you could dive in This Is Football. Which
they had really good animations for the time, didn't it?
Yeah, it had Rio Ferdinand, Kieran Dyer, one of the bottom randomly, but I know now looking back, because obviously you don't want to encourage or promote diving, so putting it in and if you got it right, you'd get the other player like yellow carded, and you're like, but most of the time the referee would. I would end up getting games abandoned because I would be down to 7 men because they would all be sent off of diving like constantly. It was really addictive to try.
I used to see how quickly I could get games abandoned sometimes. And it was in FIFA's. Obviously, it depends on the time that you have, but yeah, I mean, it would be 5 seconds sometimes. They'd kick off or take a free kick or something, and you'd be like, dive in. Yay!
A lot more now they've taken out the professional foul, because you have to like time your sliding tackles or whatever to try and either get straight reds or just double yellows, whatever. Sometimes you can't even do it. I have tried before against the computer, and I'm like, God, I just can't even foul that. But the other big, and I don't want to make it all about football, but the other big football game was Pro Evo, wasn't it? Which was for a time.
I was a Pro Evo man for probably the
early 2000s.
I PlayStation 2 onwards, all the way until I want to say FIFA 11.
I did. I played.
Basically, their online was
early to late
pants.
Yeah, I never tried it online. I was just I used to play it with my cousin a little bit. Obviously, the issue they had was they didn't have any of the licenses, so you'd be like Manchester Blue against Manchester Red or North London or whatever, West. But they
Calcio. They had Calcio, didn't they? For who was it? Ronaldo. I think not Ronaldo nowadays. The old Ronaldo, Brazilian Ronaldo.
The old FIFA, didn't they? There was I can't remember which FIFA it was because they had all the players, but they didn't have Ronaldo because he was contracted to Nike or something. So they couldn't get his. So he was like the only player you couldn't get on FIFA. And but obviously Pro Evo couldn't really get it. And then they started to get some licenses. But
they get individual teams.
So you'd have like the odd player or the odd like the Barcelona team or something, and they would put them on the front. So you'd be like, oh, they've got teams on there now, and you get home. Like, okay, they've only got this one team on here.
It was really good, and
the gameplay was really.
I still play on FIFA with my key, the button swapped for long pass and shoot because it was that on Pro Evo, and I can't get used to the FIFA way.
Yeah, if you go from Pro Evo to FIFA, you'll be running for on goal, and you'll be like.
Just suddenly long pass it. Damn it! No, I've loved football games. Yeah, I mean, Sensible Soccer, I was very much a fan of. It was very, very fast, and it was one of these ones that was hard to master, kind of thing. And but no, it was great fun. But yeah, some of my best memories with friends has been FIFA games and playing.
It's a shame now because. It seems like you got that eFootball, but it does seem it's mainly about back you had like Sensible Soccer. This is football. There was even like a Michael Owen game.
There was one called Libero Grande as well, where you controlled one player. If I remember right, I think it was on. I want to say PlayStation 1.
I've never played that one, but
but the thing is, it didn't have multiplayer. I don't think so. You just played one player. Which
that's like a mode on FIFA now, isn't it? Where you can just be one player. But,
yeah.
So we'll see.
It's not very exciting, and I think that was the game's problem. But yeah, it's very much a frustrating one. I think nowadays, especially with online. I think I had a friend.
And then Ultimate Controllers seems to be like the main.
I bought the very first Ultimate Team was a downloadable. Like purchasable, downloadable thing, and I want to say it didn't have. You couldn't buy packs or anything like that. I think it was just the more you played, and it was great. It was lovely. But then since then, because it came free and it's all about them selling and gambling basically, and it's just not interested, to be honest.
All I would say. In their defense, it was this version. So anyone who's got the latest one, I don't have it at the moment, but I did have it. Yeah, you can still buy packs, and if you really want to, you can spend money and get like but they have made it really easy that by just playing the game, you will get the best player. There'll be like certain players, but you can get a very good team by just playing the game. So. Because they'll give out free packs and they'll do squad builder challenges.
Of course, we must say it's not called FIFA anymore, is it? Obviously, it's now EA FC because
FC. So FIFA
they called EA's bluff over, I think, probably money of some kind.
Yeah, I think they wanted loads,
and EA went. Huh?
We've got all the the gameplay, we've got the market. We're just great. They did. It was rumored that FIFA were going to bring out their own games.
Well, yeah, I think they have gone to. It was rumored that they've gone to somebody like Take-Two or something like that.
I guess see, but I mean, EA.
We will see. We will see. What about sports management games? Of go stick with football. Have you ever played the Football Manager?
More Championship Manager was.
Are we talking old school Championship Manager?
Yeah, late 90s, early 2000s sort of era. Even before that, I had one on the Sega Mega Drive, which was the
Championship Manager. It is the OG sort of brilliant one, was it? Championship Manager 3.
Considering how long ago it came out, sort of 25 years ago, it had so much information on there. Obviously, it was just just data essentially, but it had so much that you could go down to your local. Like for me, I could go down to Western, and there would be players in Western, and your players would get better and all that, and your data editor, which allowed you to update data and stuff like that. So, yeah, it was.
Yeah, I mean, they still have. They've got the stats somewhere, but they've got like thousands of people around the world that update all the stats for like thousands of teams and around the world. Obviously, the big names and the big ones, they have a few people doing those, so they get it mostly right. But yeah, I mean, there's been all sorts, hasn't there, with Football Manager people and Championship Manager people who have been given. I think there was somebody who even got a job as a manager of a football team.
Yeah, he was in the France, wasn't he? I can't remember his name now.
But yeah, imagine that. It's like when you've heard Formula One, and there was a PlayStation thing where they had somebody racing, and they made a racing team from people who were really good at the game. I'm sure that was like a Sony thing, or they made a team. But no, I'm totally with you. Championship Manager 3 was easily the best. Probably because it was a bit more simple, I think. It wasn't simple, obviously. It was crunching the numbers behind the scenes. Yeah. But nowadays, you've got to deal with all the whiny players. Whereas back in the Championship Manager 3 days, you just went, I have a bit more money. Okay. And they'd be happy. Whereas now it's like, I don't want to play in that position. Oh, God, really?
I used to go in and destroy teams as well. So I'd go in extra manager because if I wanted their player, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to become the manager now of Manchester United. And for no apparent reason, I'm going to find David Beckham 2 weeks' wages. And obviously, he would come back absolutely fuming, and you would say, "Oh, I'm going to fine you another 2 weeks now for being violent," and then he'd be like, "Even more," and then accept a bid from West Ham United for £1, and he'd be off to West Ham for like lesser wages.
Yeah, I mean, I used to just use the editor, and if somebody pissed me off, I'd be like, right, okay, go into the editor, 1-1-1-1-1-1 on all their stats, and just be like, right, let's have a look at my youth team. Yep, that person looks good. I'll put their potential up to 200, and I'll be like, yeah, excellent. And like a season later, I'd have this person that was worth 80 million or something, and then this other person would have been dropped from the team that they
by doing what you did with the 1-1-1 on a really good player. Have you seen the film Space Jam?
Yeah.
Where the aliens take over the body and they can't play basketball anymore.
Yeah. You got Charles Barkley who can't even catch it.
It'd be like, I just can't play football anymore. Someone's taking over my body.
What's happened? It's a great satisfaction of going in after in a year in the game time kind of thing, and just going, oh, look at them, they've had no games this season. That's funny, isn't it?
I had one of I can't remember which one it was. It was an early 2000, but there was like a glitch on it, which because I went up to probably about 20 years after, so I probably came close to where we are now. in terms of time. And for whatever reason, Alan Shearer just wouldn't retire. So I remember I was playing, it must have been like 2020, and he was like 48, and he was still hanging in. His stats didn't go down. I was like, he's still getting like 30 goals a season. Why?
Nice.
So yeah, I don't know what was going on with my Championship manager. I was like, he's still there, or he was like playing with all the youth teams.
There was always those certain players who you knew, even without editing or anything, that you'd just be like, oh, I could buy them because I can buy them for about £2.50 now, and in 3 years' time they'll be the best player in the world.
And there were like players who got famous because, like Freddie Adu, for example, from the American football player. People just assumed he was like the new Pele because Championship manager made him like one of those players who just became amazing after a few years. So everyone just assumed it didn't really work out like that for him.
Not in real life.
More famous manager games than he actually did for his footballing. I think there were other ones as well that I can't really remember. But yeah, the football. So the other sport. Probably I like both games. That was another. I used to play the Tiger Woods games a lot. But
yeah, the PGA games have always been good. I mean, even back in the days of the Mega Drive and the Super Nintendo and all that, where you had flybys on the courses and whatnot. And I'm very much a fan of the 3-click, not the stick.
Not the analog.
I can't stand the stick controls.
So I used to. I think that was Tiger Woods 05 I had, and that was the analog. But I think you can, like I know with the newer ones, you can switch it to clicking rather than the analog. But,
definitely.
You would have also the power boost. So I used to be there smashing the black button, I think it was, or the white button, and then doing the analog. And I loved that game. That was probably my favorite golf. Probably the game I probably played most on the Xbox was that Tiger Woods 05, and it. For a game that was 20 years ago old, it had so much in there. There was bits where you play like the legend, so you could have like...
your Ballesteros.
You'd go Ballesteros. There was Arnold Palmer, Ballesteros, Jack Nicklaus.
Faldo.
Ben Hogan. No, Faldo wasn't one of them. And Tiger Woods. And then you had to beat them on a course of their... and that was... quite difficult, and then obviously you'd have the tour where you'd be your created character and you would go, and I just played that game.
Yeah, I love them all. I wouldn't say I've played any of them to death because they're games that the current PGA game, Game Pass actually. There's a perk at the moment you can get a free deluxe upgrade, and I played it and I enjoyed it. But it's a game that I'll play for maybe 45 minutes, and then I'll be like, I'm a bit bored of it now. But then the next day, I'll think, actually, I fancy a game of golf. Or then a week later, I might go, I fancy a game of golf. And I'll have maybe a round. And then I'll be like, I'm a bit bored now. And won't, So it's one that I like in short bursts every few weeks kind of thing.
My only criticism of the 05 game is that because you would play your character and then you would do the stats, and the game wasn't that difficult, so it was probably more enjoyable when your stats were really low because it was actually quite a challenge and you would still win, but it would be when you got your stats maxed out. I remember and the commentary, they didn't design the commentary for you to be so far ahead. I remember there'd be like some events where I would be on like 54 under par, and the next person would be on 4 under par, and there'll be like 2 holes left, and the commentary would be like, he's going to have to try and hold it together. He wants to win this major. And there's going to need to be a 50-shot swing in the next 2 holes, which I don't think is possible.
I think you can only get up to 12, can't you, as well?
Yeah.
You're like, I could just pick this up and throw it at my caddy, and I'd still only get 12.
And hit it the other way. Nice.
Yeah. Just get 12. That's fine. Just go to the pub early.
And if you're putting for the championship, and I could probably have about 57 putts and still win, he'd be like, oh, so much pressure on this putt.
You're sitting there like, la, 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 la. So much pressure. No, I'm fine. Oh, he's really got to hold it together. No, I'm fine here. Thanks. Just leave me.
These are the putts that make champions. And I'm like, no, I won it about 50, no, about 20 holes ago, 20 sort of.
Yeah, especially when you've got when you've got the championships where it's about like 4 rounds of, and
and I won it on the first round, the first few holes when I went eagle, and it was like 6 under par, and the nearest, no one's even got to 6 under par yet. So here I am.
Well, PGA, the most recent one, I would say. It's definitely harder. Yes, back in those days, I think they probably were easier.
I played the latest one, and if you do play it with the analog, and you can do the difficulty settings. So if you have it on, it is really because you've got to get the timing just right, and you get it like
straight. I can never get it straight.
If you get it slight off, it just like goes like, and you're like, God, it's so unforgiving. Like, just give me a break. So I did. When I played it, I tried it on the free clicks, and it was easier to do it on the click
definitely
the analog. But
I always straight away before I don't even bother trying with the stick nowadays. I can't play them. I'm old and boring, but that's yeah.
Look, we've only covered 2 sports, yet we've for quite a while.
Well, cricket games. Have you played any cricket games?
Brian Lara. I played Brian
Lara on PS1. Yeah, PS1.
I think it was PS2. I had it.
You had the PS2. You see, the only one I ever liked was the PS1 Brian Lara, the very first Brian Lara cricket. After that, there was a couple that were good, a couple that were not quite so good. They went downhill after the first one.
The one I had, I enjoyed. It was quite easy. I'd make my own character, make him an all rounder, and I'd bowl them out for like 7 runs or something, and then my guy would just like smacking it,
smack it for 6, and then just tap it for 1. Oh look, I've won.
I'd usually bat first because I would know that I'd bowl them out straight away. So I'd bowl them out in the first over, essentially. Well, you couldn't actually do that, but I would
2 overs and out.
Yeah, and then so I'd always bat first, and I'll be like, okay, I've set them a target of 600 runs. Let's see how they go. And my guy would have hit like 400 because the other guy would just hit singles because I wanted my guy to have all the all the credit. So
I think the one, if we're going to quickly go through sports, the main sport that I wish that there was a good game is rugby. There's been average ones, but then there's also one of the worst games
for a while, isn't there? But yeah.
Well, there was Rugby 15, which basically killed the rugby games because it was so dire. It was terrible game. It was I think at one point the lowest rated Xbox One and PS game.
Yeah, I haven't played a rugby game for it, but I have played them before. And the ones I played were okay. They've never been.
Yeah, they've never been great. But then again, it's a hard one to work out how to.
Yeah, because you got like line outs and scrums and kicking. And
so I think until like EA puts a lot of money into it, which they won't.
Because it's not a worldwide sport. Maybe that's why. Cricket as well. There's not loads of cricket games, but again, that's not really like the main ones are football and then Madden, isn't it? They're like
because although cricket, I think cricket is the second most watched game after football, but it's mostly because it's concentrated in India,
which I don't know how much they game in India.
I probably per person there's per capita there's probably a lot less gaming people in India, so it's unfortunate that things like that will never quite get the love that they deserve. But I mean, cricket and rugby have had the occasional highlight, like we said with Brian Lara. Rocket League as well. Obviously, you love it.
Class that as a sport. Yeah,
and it's a sport.
Football and driving, the two sort of.
And Madden as well. Have you ever been a fan of American football?
I used to. I haven't played any of the modern ones. I don't get the
the tactics. Really, it's like if I want to be up there, why don't I just pass it up there? So I normally put it on easy and just pass it, and they catch it every time. Touchdown!
Yeah, because they'd have their little the buttons above their head.
Yeah.
I would just create my own characters on there again, making it as easy as I could. So I'd create a quarterback, so my throw would be really good, and I'd create a runner, and I would just always throw it to the same person, and then
indeed
sprint off.
Duncan is running down the field, and he catches it. Touchdown!
Sometimes I'd just make my quarterback be like, "Oh no, I'm not going to throw it. I'm just going to have a little run myself."
Just make them all called after you. So there's Martin throws to Martin, and he dodges one tackle and just loads of Martins.
I liked it when EA did that. They I don't think they have it anymore. When they went EA Big, and they had like FIFA Street, NFL Blitz, I think, where they had like a street.
They were fun. They were fun. I think they tried to bring FIFA Street back, didn't they? Or it was there was a mode or something in one of the FIFAs, which was sort of FIFA Street-ish. But I never got on with them personally, but they were very popular.
Yeah, I played them with my cousin, so I think that's probably made it. We quite enjoyed, and you'd go in and obviously
you did little skills
and you build your team
to nutmeg people and stuff, didn't you?
Yeah, and you build up and you get to a point where I can't remember what it was called, but it would be like your bar would be, and you'd press it and you'd do like a special shot. I think on the Mario Super Striker, whatever, they've got a similar one where you get to a certain bit and you can like almost guaranteed to score when you do it.
And you basically you hit the ball into somebody, it basically buries them in the pitch.
Yeah,
pretty much.
They're trying maybe
explodes.
Puts them into the goals. So,
I mean, there's so many sports.
Yeah, you got boxing games, you got racing games,
racing. Oh god, but yes, Formula One games. I always try them and think, I fancy a racing game, and then just go, oh, hang on. Oh, you've got all the rules in there and it's a simulation. No, thanks. I like it because basically, let's face it, in the Formula One games, what you do is you get to the first corner, you smash into the rest of them, and then you go straight into the lead. There you go, and you win. That's like real life, isn't it?
Use them, to help you with your corner, and I'll just.
Obviously, that's not something you want in online racing, but I think there's a lot of them have got rid of done things in online gaming, so you can't do that nowadays.
Carnage, wouldn't it?
Oh yes, there are some games where it still happens, kind of thing, but yeah. Right. Well,
I could carry on talking.
Yeah,
but there's got to be an end.
If there was one sports game you could only play one sports game for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Rocket League, probably. or FIFA, I don't know. They're both as a bit EA now, sorry. They're both as addictive as...
we forgot to talk about all the Olympic Games and track and field, Daley Thompson decathlon. Oh, but no, probably be one of the FIFAs. Probably one of the... Yeah.
Definitely not Athens 2004. I wouldn't have a hand left if that was... I got to the point where I had to wear gloves when I played it because I had blisters on my fingers because
Was that the game, or was that just really good wrist action? Yeah, you're a young boy.
Left-handed, right-handed. Yeah, they just both gone. In outside of gaming, so it's just like.
So I think I still haven't put all the links up for my 24-hour stream. They are coming because it is only 2 weeks, I want to say. Yep, 2 weeks till my stream. So the links will be up within the next few days. So again, it will be all in aid of Cancer Research UK. I still haven't finalised the list of games that I'll be playing. Try and play some Rocket League with you. I think that'll be quite good. Actually, because we've never actually played a game together, have we?
No.
I think me and Tom decided that we would probably be quite good if we could play 2v1 on you. Because you're very good at it, and we're like.
I'm not. No, I'm not very good at it. I'll be obviously. I'm going to be very good compared to someone who's never, because it is a game that if you.
Oh, I played it.
There's a skill gap between people who are okay and people who aren't very good. But I'm playing on the Switch, just not to get my excuses in now, but playing it on the Switch is a lot harder because like
yes, yeah.
Delayed.
I can imagine. And those sticks on I just can't get on.
I know. I play it on. I do have a Pro controller when I play it on the Switch.
I see.
And I play it on the screen, but it is delayed, and I don't have a proper gaming monitor or anything like that. So I play it with my friend on the PS5, and I'm probably using it as a.
You destroy me.
I'll just say to my friend, I'll be like, on my screen, I was hitting that ball, and it just popped over my head. It's because they're obviously seeing things before I do. But maybe I'm just using that as a reason why I'm not as good at the moment. But yeah, I'm confident that unless you're secretly really
good. I'm not secretly really
air dribbling it and flip resetting on me and pinching it or whatever.
That's not going to happen. Don't worry. It is just literally me, probably, hopefully, maybe getting the odd lucky shot in. I wasn't terrible at it, but I'm certainly not a skillful person at it. It was good fun though. It's good fun playing with games. So hopefully we'll actually get to play. I have set up our Twitch. And I've set it up on my Xbox so I can start streaming some stuff. Probably be without me talking all over it. Probably just be me playing. So I'll be streaming some Xbox stuff over the next couple of weeks, possibly, just to test out the streaming and the account. So it's twitch.tv/Focus on Gaming podcast. So if you want to have a look, join, follow us. And I will put the links on our Facebook and possibly other places if I can find the time. So, and on this day, Edith, I think you were saying there was a big one on this day.
Yeah, well, obviously
the N64
earlier, and the N64 came out 28 years ago today.
28 years, there you go. When I would have been 18. Blimey.
I'd have been.
I was an adult.
8. I would have been 8.
Bless you.
I don't know. I can't remember.
Yes, in 28 years, well, I'm 46 now, so I would have been 18. Right. Well, that was a quick one because it has now been an hour and 20 minutes of us rabbiting on. Great to speak to you, Martin.
Yeah.
And another great episode. And
like and subscribe. If we forgot any, it was a very whistle stop tour.
Sports. If there's any people want us to talk about, let us know.
You're probably there thinking, how have they not spoken about Knockout Kings or
Fight Night? Knockout on the NES. Is it Knockout?
Super Punch Out.
Super Punch Out. That's the one. Punch Out. So right, like and subscribe, and we will see you again for episode 50.
Yeah, we do. Maybe think of something special for episode 50.
Maybe. Oh, that's be difficult. Yeah, we'll think of something.
Yeah, well, there's something we can like and subscribe.
Anyway, bye.
Bye. Bye.